Today I'm here to talk with you about the Trecena of Kan. Kan is a Nawal that is associated with both power and wisdom. And through those associations, it can be something which reflects the sharing of wisdom, that is teaching. It can be about empowerment. It can be about finding new wisdom. It can also be about seeing through illusions because Kan brings us the wisdom to understand the power which is held over us or the power which we hold over others. And so it can be like a renovation of wisdom. It can be a new wisdom coming to us. But it can also be kind of like the revelation of illusions and, time to start something new, to be able to see through those illusions, empowering ourselves and others around us. So we're going to begin with the day one Kan. Obviously, this could be a great day to begin a new teaching, a new learning, to uncover some new wisdom. It has the potential for it because that seed which is all about potential, the new growth that we can see coming from the acquisition of new wisdom or the sharing of wisdom in a new way. This can bring about a new growth of the power within us to help us to empower ourselves. It can also be where we share our wisdom in a new way in order to empower others and to help them to grow, to help them to fulfill their potential. From one Kan, we then go into two Kame. So Kame, the Nawal of death, of transformation. And here we see it with the number two representing duality, also representing choices. Now, this can be a day in which things are seen in a very dualistic way, in a very polarized way. It could be very much about making a decision, left or right. Do I face that fear or do I hide from it yet again? Maybe this new wisdom that's coming in with the Kan Trecena can be something which helps us to understand better our choices so that we are able to face our fears, so that we're able to go through that process rather than kind of like turning away from them. It also gives us the opportunity to see things in a rather high contrast, to see things a very kind of like binary choices, as it were, to understand kind of like this is where I go if I face that fear, this is where I go if I hide from that fear. Hopefully the Trecena of Kan and the one Kan is going to bring us the new wisdom that we need in order to go through that. From two Kame, we're then going into three Kech. So Kech, a day on which we connect with the wilderness, on which we connect with the natural world. Kech, also a day of what we could consider to be teachers or leaders within our world. And the number three, really reflecting on the inner world, because the number three we can see representing what's going on within us. We can also see what is representing our own home. So we could say that three Kech is a good day to connect with that leadership that you hold within yourself. Sometimes we're looking around for leadership and we just can't quite find where it is. In this time of new wisdom, in this Trecena of Kan, perhaps three Kech is the great day to be looking within yourself at the leadership that you hold within yourself as what you need to tap into to bring this new wisdom out of you. From three Kech, we're then going into four Anil. So Anil, a day of ripening, a day of yellowness, a day of joy often, and bringing things to their conclusion, to their yellowness, to their harvest. And here we see it with the number four. Now, it might be a little bit early in the year for those of you in the northern hemisphere, or late in the year for those of you in the southern hemisphere. But Anil days are great days to spend in your garden, great days to perhaps prepare. Now, we could see kind of like preparations beginning in the northern hemisphere, the beginning of the preparation for the new crop to be seeded, for that to go out and maybe clear up some trash in your garden, prepare the area ready for the coming crop to be seeded. It can also be very much about coming to fruition in some kind of physical way, putting our physical energy into it. Because again, we're looking at this time and we're bringing new wisdom into the world, saying, right, how can we practically apply that in our world in order to help us to mature to, Neil, the greatest shining light that we can become? How can we help that to mature our soul in the best way possible? What practical applications does it have? Now, I often see or feel that in Anil, we receive our harvest, we receive that ripening, and then following that, we give back with Toch. And 5 Toch is an interesting day because we have both Toch representing the fire and the number 5 also representing the work that we do through the fire. So 5 Toch is very much about a day of putting our energy into giving back to those who have shared their wisdom with us, giving back in order to empower those around us, making our donation, tithing some of what we've received in order to ensure that those around us are also empowered by that wisdom. So 5 Toch, of course, is a great day for making ceremony. It's a great day to make donations. People like Odim, for example, to donate on behalf of the work that we do, to donate to the work that they do. From 5 Toch, we're then going into 6 Tz'i. So Tz'i, the Nawal of faith, of loyalty, of justice, of law. And here we see it with the number 6, which can represent family. It can also represent the number of ultimate stability. And so this is taking the laws that may exist, whether we consider them to be the laws of humanity, whether we consider them to be the laws that govern our society, and understanding how to incorporate the higher aspects into the physical realm. Because that's 6 representing the connection above and below and bringing it down or up into the physical realm and distributing it around us. And so it's looking at it and saying, well, how can I integrate these higher powers into ensuring that these laws of humanity are upkept within the realm that around me? Once again, we can see that with the wisdom, we can see that with the empowerment coming in from the Kan Trecena. We can use that wisdom, we can use that power to help to ensure that the unconditional love of Tz'i comes through in the form of looking after the people around us. Once again, Tz'i could be seen as the guide, it could be seen as our companion. How can we protect and look after the ones that we love, the family, represented by the 6? This is a great day to be focusing on that and making sure that all is treated fairly. From 6 Tz'i, we're then going into 7 bats. So we're going to begin a sequence with bats with this number 7. The next time that we see bats, it will be 1, and then it will be 8. Okay, and so 8 bats, of course, being a very important day within the calendar. But of course, here we are in the Kan Trecena looking at 7 bats. Bats being the weaving, the creation, and the number 7 being something that we can often associate with endings. So it's like finishing off the weaving. So this is a great day to be finishing off any creative projects that you have going on, to bring your wisdom, this new wisdom that's coming in, to use it to finish off the projects, the plans, to finish off the creativity that you've got going on. I also see 7 bats as being kind of like the end of one thread, the end of one set of weaving. And then with 1 bat, we're going to begin a new weaving, and with 8 bats, we're going to bring the old and the new together. And so it's a great day, as I said, for finishing off any creative projects that you've got going on, and also for making your choice as to what you want to create next. So if you've got something where you've got a creative project, creative initiative that you want to finalize, you want to finish off, 7 bats is a great day to do it, and for choosing where you want to go next with it. From 7 bats, we're then going into 8 the day of the journey, the day of the road. It's all about discovery. And The number 8 representing wholeness, representing completion. And so this could be a great day to kind of understand everything that you've experienced in your journeys, on your travels, how they've helped you to grow, what wisdom that they've brought to you in this Kan Trecena. It's also a day to understand the entirety of the journey. That when we go on a physical journey, we're also going on a mental, emotional, and spiritual journey quite often, and seeing how they all integrate together. 8 of course, is also a day on which we would make ceremony to give thanks for having a smooth road, a clear road, for having the journeys that we've made, and to ask for our path, for our road to be opened, for our road to be cleared for our future journeys. From 8 we're then going into 9 9 again, a very, very interesting day, in that we have Ach representing a very masculine kind of form, this leadership, but also Ach representing the benevolent father figure of the house, the spinal column, Ach literally meaning he of. But here we see it paired with the number 9, the number of the divine feminine. And so here we see strong female leadership. We look to the female elders within our community for leadership in this time of wisdom. We look for the empowerment of women, and we ask for the harmony in our community to come through feminine leadership. From 9 we're then going into 10 So we then see the most feminine of the Nawalas, a connection with Mother Earth. And here we see it combined with the number 10 representing the hands coming together in community or society. So this can be a great day to get together with your community to do something for Mother Earth. Be a great day for a community clear up, a community tidy up. Be a great day to get together with your community and help to understand how you can better the environment in your village, in your place, in your town. It can also be a day to visit altars together, because Ish can also be very representative of the sacred sites, of the shrines and the altars. And here with the number 10, it's kind of like looking at it and saying, how can we do this as a community? How can we recognize the sacred that we hold within our community and the sacred that we see within and around our community, connecting that with the natural world? From 10 Ish, we're then going into 11 Tz'ikin. 11 Tz'ikin representing the vision. Now, the number 11 can be rather off the beaten track. It takes some unusual turns. It can be going in some very spontaneous directions. And when we combine it with the vision of Tz'ikin, we can understand that we may be kind of like rather distracted on an 11 Tz'ikin day, because it's almost as if our sight, our vision, gets distracted to all of these different and sometimes unrelated places. But that's where our creativity comes from. It's our creativity that comes from walking a road that's not usually travelled in a particular way, from seeing things in a different way that maybe we hadn't seen them before, maybe they hadn't been seen before. Once again, this is in the Trecena of new wisdom. And sometimes we're only going to get to that new wisdom by looking in directions that we haven't seen before. So yes, 11 Tz'ikin might be not so much a focused day. It's a day to explore your vision in a different way, to look in places that you haven't looked before, in order to find a different way of going, perhaps to get even clarity on a way forward, to bring a new vision about. From 11 Tz'ikin, we're then going into 12 Ajmak. So Ajmak representing forgiveness, representing acceptance of ourselves and others for exactly who we are, representing the power to forgive. Now, we see it here with the number 12, The number 12 representing all of life's experience. So it could be a very cathartic day about going back over your life's experiences and recognizing where forgiveness might need to come into play. Maybe there's some things hidden deep in your past that you've tried to move on from, or you've sort of like maybe even swept under the rug and tried not to deal with. Well, 12 Ajmak might bring them to the fore. In this time of bringing about new wisdom, in this time of bringing about new empowerment, it could well be that we can't necessarily move forward before we forgive what has happened in that past. And so 12 Ajmak can be a very introspective day, perhaps, to go back through your past experience and look where you might need to forgive others or you might need to ask for forgiveness. It can be also a good day to be looking at what you might need to forgive yourself about within your past behavior. From 12 Ajmak, we're then going to finish this Kan Trecena with 13 Noch. So Noch, knowledge, information. Noch, the one who helps us to understand, to bring in new knowledge. And where does that knowledge come from? Well, the number 13 can represent spirit and it can represent the ancestors. So this is a great day to connect with ancestral knowledge. This is a great day to connect with spirit if you need to, in whatever way, shape or form, in order to consolidate your knowledge, the information that you carry. It can be a great day to ask for solutions and to find solutions through ancestral knowledge, to find solutions through perhaps even looking back and finding out what we have, what connections that we have, and what information can come through either from spirit or from the ancestral world to help us to move forward in this world, to consolidate our wisdom through that ancestral knowledge. So, I hope that this Trecena video has been useful to you, and I look forward to seeing you again in 13 days' time when we'll be beginning the Trecena of Tz'i. Thank you.